All right, I want to welcome each one of you to day 3, Winning Recruiting Conversations. How's everyone doing? Let's give a little woohoo. Yay out there. I love it. All right, I want to take a moment. There are a handful of people, probably several, that have joined since the kickoff call. And I just want to reintroduce my partner, my right arm, all my body, Megan Miles. So everyone give Megan a big yoo-hoo and a shout out up there. Many of you saw Megan on the day 1, exploding your reach, and learned some new cool tips around social media. We're going to continue to build on that today. My name's Joan Robison, and for those of you that I've never met, I'm excited to be here. This has just been an incredible experience so far. I've had a chance, I know Megan has too, to continue to talk to some of you one-on-one in the chats, as well as in some of the different posts. I'm going to just figure out that little ding ding. All right, I think it's our Zoom settings. So Jane will be checking that. And for all of the rest of you out there, I'd like to introduce our panelists today. We've got some incredible leaders here in the industry that are going to be panelists, and they're going to be talking about how they really have great conversations when it comes to recruiting. All right. So we've got Miss Lauren Morris. We're going to go ahead and spotlight Lauren. She's right up there. Jane, you on it there, lady? All right. Lauren, I'm going to just wait. There we go. There she is. There's Lauren. Everybody give a big shout out to Lauren. Lauren, if you want to come off mute and just tell the crew a little bit about you.
Yeah, of course. Like Joan said, my name is Lauren Morris. I'm 28 years old. I live in Maine, in a tiny small town of Maine. And before I got into network marketing, I was in the medical field. I was a medical assistant, and I loved what I did, but the money was not helping paying the bills. I was asking my mom for help to pay for gas, to pay for groceries. And that's kind of when network marketing kind of came into my world. And I did not know anything about social media. I had no idea what I was doing, but I followed the systems in place, and I was able to quit my job in 11 months by following the systems, being able to be vulnerable, and I just jumped right in, and I haven't stopped. I love what I do, and hopefully someday I'll be able to be a stay-at-home mom, and that's my dream, to just stay at home and be with my kids all day, every day.
I love it. Let's give it up for Lauren. Woohoo. And what you guys are going to love is Lauren has used this sheet, and she's going to share a little bit about her story and how her and I began talking about some objections that she was getting. And we'll hear that. You hang in there with me, guys, and you'll hear that soon. But really, really incredible results. And all right, let's see here. Who's up next? Erica Barney. Where is Miss Erica? Let's go ahead and look for Erica. Where is she? Erica, are you there, lady? Not seeing Erica at the moment. All right, Megan's going to shoot her out a note. We'll bring her on shortly. So you guys ready to go? Ready? Let's do a roll call. And what I mean by a roll call is we have so many of our incredible students in the Digital Recruiting Academy that are in this challenge as well, getting massive results. And I'd love to just have you guys kind of start waving at the crowd. Let's just come off mute and just say your name. There's Janine. Yeah, just come on out and say who you are. And
hi everyone, Janine Black from Mundelein.
Okay, I see Roxanne. I don't know what happened, you guys.
I'm Roxanne, and I'm from Montana.
All right, Roxanne from Montana. And who else? I see Debbie. Give a shout out there, Debbie.
Hi, I'm Debbie from Louisiana.
All right, there's Debbie. I see Audrey. You guys, there's so many people in here. If you are out there, just come off mute and just introduce yourself. There's Audrey. Say hi, Audrey, and where you're from.
Hi, I'm Audrey and I'm from New Hampshire.
All right, and I see Kim. Kim's also going to share about the recruiting conversation. Kim, where are you from there?
I'm from Connecticut.
All right, Kim. And I think we've got, oh, there's Michelle.
Hey, it's Michelle Berry from Montana, and it is the most amazing Foursquare you will ever use.
Oh, I love it. Right on. I'm going to send you the $100 shortly. No. All right.
Hi, I'm Randy Cormier from Louisiana.
Oh, excellent. Excellent.
I'm Deirdre Darrow from Wyoming.
All right. So we just did our roll call for the Digital Recruiting Academy, and let's just give one big round of applause for everybody that's here and for the Academy attendees as well. All right, guys. Okay, we're going to dig right in. I want to do just a quick recap because as many of you know, what Megan and my goal is to build on what you learn each day. I know that we started out talking about just tackling one thing. Now we do give usually 3 action steps, but what we know is that there is a lot of information going on. And if you're just focused on even one action step, you're already doing more than many people ever do when they get on a training. So everybody right now, I want you to give yourselves a pat on the back. You're here day 3, pat on the back and a little hug, little love. All right, you guys got it. And now I want you to take a deep breath in. Ready? And I want you to let it out. I think this group needs one more. Ready? Breathe it in and let it out. For those of you that wonder, this is eucalyptus. I'm not huffing, just so nobody gets the wrong idea. Okay, good. I got some people I got to laugh out of. That's nice. Okay, guys, today we're going to be talking the recruiting Foursquare. And before we can do that, we need to look at what we've learned. So we've learned how to explode your reach. Megan came and delivered an incredible training around different ways to utilize social media to your best advantage. Many of you, I've seen those toilet paper and chili posts all around. I'm kind of noticing that. And you're seeing that you're getting incredible engagement. And those posts, you know, are made to start conversations. And for those of you that want even a little deeper knowledge on how to really chew those posts up, I did do a live that first day that is in the Double Your Downline Challenge. So you can go over and watch that quick live. And I really go into detail about how to connect with people and really start conversations from the chili post or any kind of engagement post. On day 2, we went into yesterday, skyrocketing your sales. But what did we learn? You really can't have, you know, top sales or skyrocket any kind of sales if you're in fear. So we did learn how to get out of fear. We learned really what fear is and how to not resist the fear. We learned some sales skills and tools. And we also had an incredible training in our VIP from Beth Kohler. So incredible 2 days, power-packed. And now today, we're going into the recruiting conversation. So for those of you taking notes on that separate lined paper, I want you to write down these 5 recruiting steps. All right, so step 1 is to generate interest or engage with interest. Create interest. Just write that down. Step one. We have to create interest with our audience so that we're not all of a sudden going in and lowering the boom kind of where they don't even know what the heck we're even talking about. So whether it's the products, but today we're really going to be focusing on the business. We want to begin creating interest. That's always step one. Step two, once we've created interest, we want to have a conversation. Do you remember? We've really learned that this is not a transactional business. And although we're going to be using systems and duplication, we cannot forget that the power lies in your ability to communicate, connect, and create relationships. You guys write that down? Your ability to communicate, connect, and build relationships. And I think many people would agree with me here. When we went through that period a couple years ago, it was easy for people to get a little transactional because why? We weren't out and about, or we weren't kind of in our same routines of connection, but we can't lose that. And I really feel if we look at the world today, the pendulum swung and now it's coming back. Because really, what would life be if we didn't have beautiful relationships? You also heard Beth reiterate that people buy from people they know, like, and trust. So if we're in that transactional mode and we're not making time to have conversations, we're going to miss opportunities to serve. So we have to kind of find ways that work where we're doing the activity of connecting and communicating, but we don't want to spend 2 hours, right, having a recruiting conversation, because the conversation isn't guaranteed that that person's joining your team. This is just an informational conversation so that the person can get the information they need, the prospect, in order to make a decision that's right for them. Are you guys with me? Okay, I think I'm teeing this up pretty good. If you think I am, drop a 1 in the comments and I better see them flying. All right. So guys, I want you to turn to the actual recruiting conversation and let's look at step 1. So as we continue to build on this, and the students right now in our academy have learned how to do an effective 30-minute conversation. And I think that if you really get down to it, 30 minutes is about a fair amount of time. I mean, I think if you've had connection and conversation with someone, maybe, 10, 15 minutes, maybe you're going back and forth in your IMs, you might be able to pare it down. But just so you don't get to a place that feels like you're being kind of pushed, to hurry through something, allow 30 minutes. And at the beginning of the call, so now I want you to kind of think about, we've just gotten on a Zoom call. It could be a phone call. It could be a FaceTime live. I mean, not live, a FaceTime, not a FaceTime. I think you guys know what I mean. In Facebook. Lauren, help me. What's that called? My God, she's going, Joan. Drop it in the chat, what it's called when you're on Facebook using the Wi-Fi. All right. But what I want you to know is that this time is so important to that prospect. And it's so important that you are distraction free. And by the way, that you're just using this sheet. In fact, if I ever meet somebody in person or on a Zoom, I don't hide this sheet. And this is your first tip. I keep the sheet right out where they see me with it. And sometimes I say, you know what? let me just double check. Okay, I'm right here. I'm just following this sheet so I don't lose my place. I want to make sure that I stay right on track with you. Who can tell me what would that say to the prospect? Who's got the answer? Okay, is that Kim? Yeah, Kim is gonna, and by the way, Kim has used this. She'll tell you a little bit about it, but Kim, come off mute. You can't. Okay, could someone unmute Kim? Let's see if you can do that. Okay,
Okay.
there we go.
It just proves duplicatability and that anybody can do it if you're following the same thing over and over again, and you're not winging it, you are following something and they can be like, oh, I can do that too.
Right, right. So guys, think about it. Let's say Kim and I right now are having a recruiting conversation and she sees me doing this. Remember, she's starting to picture herself doing the business with me. And she's observing, oh, Joan's taking notes during this time. Oh, she has a sheet that prompts her so she doesn't lose track. Oh, you mean she doesn't have to memorize all this stuff? And the answer is no. And guess what? Guys, this is the recruiting seed. In addition, this is like everything when it comes to getting comfortable and making sure that you're really going in the right places. All right. So Kim, I know since you're here, I know you've used this conversation, and just this last month, Kim has recruited 4 people and you were in a little bit of a slump at one moment. So maybe tell the group how this sheet has really helped you with that process.
It just made me way more comfortable talking to somebody because you're not flubbergasting over your words or trying to make sure. The one thing that we don't want to do is give them everything and overwhelm them. And if you just take it by this sheet, then you're not. And one of the things for me, because I like to talk, is you have to listen and don't talk. Just ask the question and let them talk. And for me, that has helped so much because I now feel like I'm on the same page with my new people, knowing what they want, how much money they want to make a month, so
Right. And what I love about what Kim shared is this is almost like that kind of crutch, if you will. And what you'll start noticing is as you use the sheet in your recruiting conversations, pretty soon it will become natural to you. So you're not going to feel as uncomfortable the first time that you do it as you evolve and practice the skill. Okay. So let's go up to the step 1, because guys, this is the most important step of all, and it is to connect. So for those of you writing in your notes, write that down, connect. Now, it's easy to go right into what questions do you have? Remember, we addressed that yesterday, but we're not going to do that. We're going to resist the temptation to ask that kind of a question. And we're going to look at our sheet and we're going to make it personal, nothing about business. Okay. So I'm going to use Lauren. Lauren, if you can come on, we're just going to do a little mini role play. So Lauren and I are now in a recruiting conversation on a Zoom, right? And I already know a little bit about Lauren. Some of you might know a lot of it when you finally do get on a conversation, because you may have gone back and forth in a message. Some of you have videos from your companies. Some of you have other tools that you may use, or it could be a post that she saw and she's been following you. So when we do role play, it could be a little funky, but just know that this isn't the first thing or the first connection that I've made with her, but still, I don't miss the step. So, hey, Lauren, it's so good to see you. Gosh, the weather has been so cold. It's actually pretty cold in Arizona. What's it doing back east there?
It's been snowing for 3 days.
Oh my gosh. How's your dog loving the snow?
He's obsessed with it.
I could imagine. I could imagine. Gosh. Well, is your husband and you, are you guys doing all right? Getting all the food you need and all that stuff?
Yeah, of course.
Good. All right. Well, before we dig in to the business, I just want you to know I'm going to ask you some questions so that I can gain a little bit more clarity about what's really most important to you. And I really just want to start by asking you, what was it that really attracted you to the business?
I really want to stay home. I want to be a stay-at-home mom someday. And right now I'm working 60+ hours as a medical assistant. And I can barely afford my bills with that job. So I know the potential that this could potentially have for me. And I really would like to see where it goes.
Oh, that's awesome. Meaning, I like that you're thinking out ahead and that you're looking at other options. So let's talk just a little bit about the kind of now, you guys, this is why I'm struggling just for a minute because I already know too much about Lauren, but I'm just gonna fake it. Okay. So Lauren, what products have you used from the company? Now, guys, I'm not going to have her say that out loud, what products she uses, just because we want to be in a neutral place. But right now, I'm just having any kind of conversation with her. And if you look to the questions, right, we're looking really at what's most important to her. All right. And all of the questions that we're going to ask through this connection are going to lead back to allowing me to support Lauren in the best way. So, Lauren, let's talk a little bit. I know you said you were barely affording to pay your bills. And you know what? I can understand that. And I think there's more people than you and I both even probably know that are in these same kinds of positions. What if you were to do a business like this? What kind of money would you want to make? Let's just say in your first month of business. What would be like, if I could do this, this would feel really good and make me feel good about joining?
So right now at my job, I'm getting around $900 a month.
Okay. So you're doing the 900 there, but what would this job, if you were to make what amount, what would make it feel like this would be worthwhile for you?
So I would like to make at least 500 to pay for my groceries.
Okay, at least 500. All right, great. And I know you said you work full time. So again, you're adding something in addition. How many hours a day do you see yourself investing in this new business?
To start off, I would say 2 hours.
Okay, so 2 hours a day, and let's just say times 5-ish days a week. All right, that gives me a really good idea of how to set you up for success. I would love to ask you just a few deeper questions, really about the fact that there will come at the end of this month where I can show you a way to make that 500. But if you were to build on this, if you were to build on that, what would be the amount that would feel really good for you to make?
I would love to be able to quit my job and at least make $2,000 a month.
Okay, $2,000 a month and be at home. All right, let's talk. I'd love to know, and this is going to be a little bit more around what your heart really desires, right? Because I know when I started in the business, I had a son that was 6 years old at the time, and really I wanted to create more time and freedom. But what was going on was when I realized, I said yes, I went, wow, I'm going to have to invest more time right now. So it was more temporary, for a payoff in the end. What would you really want beyond just the groceries? What would make your heart start really beating if you knew that fear wasn't a factor and money wasn't an issue? What do you want?
It's a hard question. I would love to be able to just pick up anything and go on a vacation with my husband.
Ooh, oh, Mama Joan, like a vacation. All right, love it. Where would you guys like to go? Let's just play for a minute. Where would you like to go?
We would love to go to Hawaii.
Oh, have you been to Hawaii before?
I have not.
Oh, well, guess what? I've been there many, many times, and I'd love to give you a few tips when you're ready to roll. So, Hawaii, and what do you see yourself doing in Hawaii? Do you like the beach? What's your kind of deal?
My husband loves excursions. He's not a beach guy, so definitely plan a bunch of excursions so we're not just sitting on the beach.
All right, excursions, and Hawaii, fresh seafood, all the lovely, what kind of food do you guys like?
Oh, we like all types of food. We're not picky.
Okay, I love it. All right. Okay, we're gonna pause there. So guys, I want to just thank you, Lauren. She's like, Joan, you never told me we were going down this road. Okay, guys, I want to show you, let me go back to the gallery here. So what I want to point out is really what you're wanting to do is connect to what's most important to Lauren's heart. Do you notice how money, $500, that's going to pay her groceries, and that would be more of probably her immediate need. But after our needs are met, what do we want? And did you notice she said that's a hard question? Do you want to know why? Because women and men, but mostly women, do not give themselves the permission to really dream about what they really want. You're trying to take care of today. You're trying to take care of the kids, the family, and most people don't stop and really allow themselves to dream, because the minute they do, guess what happens? They go, well, that's for someone else, not me. Or fat chance that's ever going to happen. Has anybody here ever done that? Drop a heart or drop a 2 in the comments if you've ever done that. Just sold yourself short, didn't even go there because you're like, why bother? Hawaii's going to be Hawaii and I'm not going to be in it. Anyone done that? Yep, I see it. And this is what happens. So we want to ask these open-ended questions, and every person is a little bit different, right? You're going to be asking questions based on Lauren's answer. And I want to give you a little tip before I ever get on a call with someone. I go look at their Facebook page, go down 3 or 4 posts. It'll take you just minutes, but you will get to know who they are. Their essence, their soul, their feelings tend to come right out on those pages, don't they? Okay. And she will see you're prepared, because you might ask her something about her camping trip last weekend. Oh, I see you guys were camping in the hills of Colorado. And what was that like? Right? So see, there's so many things that you are going to begin observing about your prospect and how to ask those open-ended questions, which, by the way, start with what? We went over these already and we'll do it again. Who, what, where, when, and how. Who, what, where, when, and how. All right. So guys, now that I have this $500 extra and 2 hours a day and potentially 2K and beyond, do you now see that I can go into the next step? And I'll show you what I mean by that. So I share little pieces of my story. And you heard me say, when I started, I just wanted to do the $500 extra. Okay, so I will weave in little things of my own story based on what she says. So if she was a single mom, I might talk about being a single mom. If she was a full-time corporate, worker, then I might talk about that. If she's a dentist's wife, I might say, I need to get my teeth cleaned. What's his name? You get where I'm going, right? The conversation is casual. It's you and your friend. That's how I want you to see this. Don't think about recruiting them. Think about getting to know them. That's all I want you to do. It's only about getting to know them and be excited to get to know them. All right. So I then would say to Lauren, all right, would you like to know how someone gets started? Now, in your step 2, this would be perhaps your company's success plan. Or you could write underneath that, this would be presenting the opportunity, the business opportunity. You remember when you heard Beth yesterday talk about what you're presenting or your offer, okay? So every company does it a little bit differently. She was more talking about product offers. I'm today talking about the business offer. You guys with me? Let me see your heads go like this. All right, good. Okay, so now if you can see on step 2, you could begin by sharing, hey, Lauren, I'm going to show you how the most successful people get started. Or I could say, would you like to know how the most successful people get started? Now, I shake my head yes if I'm on a Zoom. Yeah, would you like to know how the most successful people get started? And she's going to say, well, yeah. All right, so I'm confident going into this. Now, many of you have checklists or DMOs that you follow that you do in an hour a day. Many of you have your own methods. Maybe you're doing, this many reach outs and this is your plan. I want you to get really crystal clear. How would someone get started at your company? Now, if I was training the company where I'm at, I have exactly a knowing of what someone would need to do. But this is generic, so I'm not giving this out, right? You all work for many different companies. How would someone successfully start at your business and what are the steps they would take? Now, I'm going to say something here. Do not overwhelm the person by giving them like your new stylist or new consultant or new ambassador, whatever you are, checklist. You tell them a few things. Well, what we would do first is this, and then maybe give them 3 things. That's it. You're just giving them a little taste of what that success looks like. Okay. Another thing you could say, let's say, do you remember how she said, see, I take notes when my person says stuff. You see, I got all her notes here. So do you remember when she said, I can barely afford blah, 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 blah. I have that in my head. So definitely I'm going to say to her, would you like me to show you how you could earn your kit investment back in the first 30 days? Now, do you remember yesterday when I only gave you the one thing? This on number 2, I said that we were going to use possibility language. I'm sure those of you that are paying really close attention already observed that I used possibility language right out the gates. And I'm going to do it again over here. Okay, so I'm going to use it in a way that we use as a benefit. Because remember, her challenge is she can barely afford. So do you think it would make her feel good to hear how I could show her how to get that money back in the first 30 days? Well, you're damn right. She's perked up, right? Okay. So again, how do we figure this out? You take the price of your kit and then you figure out what would she have to sell in order to recoup that? And I'm just throwing this out. This isn't a true statement, but let's just pretend she would have to maybe get, 5 or 10 new customers, and maybe you show her by getting 10 new customers and recruiting 2 people, or maybe it's 10 new customers, that's it. I don't know. But I would show her how when she does this, she will get that amount of money back in her first month. Are you guys with me? All right. So it is going to take you figuring out what your average sale. And the way I say this is I say some do a little more and some do a little less, but this is about the average. All right. Okay. Now, the pro tip here is really what I just described. So make sure that you note that. And then if you are going to share anything about, would you like to know how you get paid? For those of you detailed people, there's a lot of people here that are very detailed. You've read the comp plan, all 38 pages of it, backwards and forwards. You keep highlighters. You've got orange, red, and yellow to your right now. Yep, Lynn just showed me. Those people, you've got to be careful. Listen, because there's nobody out there that can absorb a 38-page comp plan. Unless they say, Lynn, I've been in network marketing for 20 some years. I'd love if you would to send me the comp plan and I'll go over it in my own time. Lynn is still going to only tell me the top couple ways that would mean the most to me. So she might go, well, as a brand new, and I'm just going to use the word consultant, it's pretty general, as a brand new consultant, typically, and then boom, boom, boom. All right. You are not going into the 13 different ways to make money unless you want to see their eyes roll back in their head and not listen to you any longer. All right. That's what'll happen. So note down at the bottom, I wrote this: resist the urge to give them these big packets. Okay. Lauren also said it at the beginning. You give them a little bit and keep them wanting more, right? So in this case, and I'm talking to those talkers out there, and I've learned this the hard way, less is more. Less is more. All right. So at this point, I might say, all right, now, Lauren, let's talk about some questions that you might have. Notice my language. I didn't say, do you have any objections? I didn't say anything about that. I said, let's talk about some questions that you might have. And then, she's going to say, well, I am really curious about, could be anything. Now, I'm not going to spend a ton of time here in objections because we are doing a little mini training from Amy over in the VIP, but I am going to go over this again because you're going to notice that what we learned yesterday is right here on this sheet, and I want to reinforce it with you. All right, so number 1 is what? Who can tell me? I'd love to see a hand go up and someone want to share out what we learned yesterday. Number 1 on that sheet. What is it? Who wants to come up?
Validate their feelings.
Where are you there?
Dina, validate their feelings.
Okay, we're going to validate their feelings always, every time. Don't forget to do that, because what does that say to the person?
That you care about them.
I care
That
about
you're
you.
interested in them.
I care about you. I'm interested in you, and I am on your side. It doesn't matter if I agree. That's part of being a mature person, is we don't have to agree, and we don't want to become fearful of that objection, because when that fear comes up, like, oh no, then it's going to come across to her and we're going to feel like we've got to, convince her not to feel this way. Anybody here ever use the word convince? Don't tell me. Just don't ever use it again. Because you don't want to convince anybody. Let me tell you what, if you want a real headache, and Megan will tell you, try and convince someone to do the business, and all you're going to be doing is beating your head against the wall with that person. It's not what you want. You guys want to attract people that want to do the business, builders. All right. So I'm going to just show this one example here, which is I'm really not a salesperson. All right. So there's just one little example down there. I'm really not a salesperson. I get that. I know when I first started in network marketing, I was a little bit nervous about what people were going to think. Notice just a little bit of my own story, not a whole book, for God's sakes, not a whole lot, just a little titch so she doesn't feel alone. And then notice the question, what about selling makes you feel like you're not really good at that? And then I'm listening. And do you know that the majority of times when that comes up, people just are in the unknown about how to sell your product. They'll say things like, well, I don't really know all the, what all it does. Or, I'm a little bit nervous because I've never really been in sales before. And what we want to do is resist the temptation to go, oh, Sandra, my gosh, come on, girl. You're a salesperson. You're doing it all the time to your kids when you're trying to get them to eat the broccoli. Come on. No, we don't want to do that. And although it's funny, right? We want to empathize and understand and ask more questions to gain clarity. All right, let's go on. Well, I'm sorry. Let's go to the last one. So we rephrase what we heard. We rephrase what her answers were. And then and only then would I go into a suggestion or another thought about how you could help her move forward. I'm going to say this again. Objections are a sign of interest. And I love what Amy Varley shared yesterday. She shared that the majority of time, the very reason why they object is often the exact reason why they might be doing the business. So it wouldn't be uncommon for Lauren to say over here, like, I'm a little nervous about the KIP price, even though I beat her to the objection in a sense. Maybe we still didn't even reveal what it was yet, right? Or maybe she's still like, oh, I don't even know if I could do it right now. Does that mean that Lauren doesn't want to do the business? No. Hey, Lauren, I'd love for you to come back on. We're getting close to time and I'm doing pretty good. So I would love though, for you to share your exact scenario of what happened way back when you told me like, hey, Joan, oh no, here's what I've been doing.
Yeah. So as you guys know, I do a lot of reels and I get a lot of cold leads. I don't have a lot of warm market. I have a lot of cold market. And I was telling Joan, I'm getting into conversation with them and I'm just word vomiting everything and giving them the price right up front. And as soon as they say, okay, I don't have money, that's where I have been like, okay, well, see you later. You don't have money. I'm done wasting my time. I don't want to have to deal with someone who doesn't have money. And Joan kind of was like, whoa. Yeah.
Well, the thing that I want everybody to hear is look at how successful Lauren is. And yet she got in a little bit of a slump there for a while because she started believing in people's objection. Like, okay, well, they don't have the money. But instead, what they're doing is they're asking you to help them. They've actually pictured themselves doing the business. So remember Lauren in the beginning? Now, I didn't sponsor Lauren or anything like that, but I guarantee you her sponsor probably showed her how she could make money quickly to pay for her kit. I guarantee you, because now you guys can see that Lauren's exact problem was one of the problems that she just temporarily forgot she had. And yet look at her success. Do you get what I mean? You guys with me? All right. This is powerful and
Hey,
it's really good. I'm going to call on it. Yeah.
Oh, I just wanted to let you know we did get Erica in the room.
Oh yeah, that's what I said. I'm going to call on Erica. And Erica, let's see, where is Erica? Just Erica, if you can come off mute. There she is. Hey, Erica, how's it going, lady?
Good.
Oh, I'm so excited to have Erica here. So guys, Erica is also going to be training on more of that heart, and she'll be doing the VIP training around getting to your emotional why on Saturday. But Erica, couple things. When you looked at this checklist, what really stood out to you in kind of the way that you've done business in a recruiting conversation?
I was trained all wrong. Actually, when you invited me to look this over, I was like, oh my gosh, this is life-changing. And it's so easy. It's real. The last thing I've ever wanted to do when bringing on a new team member or working side by side with someone is making them feel like a number. And I think sometimes we get into that mindset where you just, like you said, you want to convince them that they're worth what you see in them. And I don't want to drag anybody to water. So that's what I saw was the gold mine of the simplicity of, you know, like you said in the beginning, being upfront with them and saying, hey, you know, I brought this 3x5 card with me because I don't want to miss anything. I want you to get the most value of our time, and just being vulnerable with them to say, you know, I've been doing this for a while, but I just want to make sure I'm not missing anything.
I love it. And Erica, I love also about your comment about it being simple. Guys, when I first started in the business, someone gave me like a 4-page how to recruit, and it was all in paragraph form. And over time, I realized, hey, I could make this into a 1-page document that people could follow. And it's just continued to evolve. As you probably can see, there's more questions that we can ask. I mean, there's tons of them, right? And these are just guides. They're guides to get you started. And it's also a guide because sometimes, even me today, sometimes I could go in, if someone said, hey, I got a couple questions, I might answer them. I just might. And yet then I'm awkward. So remember, when you feel awkward, it's because you haven't made a connection. And then I'm like, oh my gosh, I just answered a question about, let's just say I'm really not a salesperson, and I don't even know what the heck she wants. So I don't know where to go from there. That's the whole point of this sheet. You just stay right in line, and it will feel so much better because you've actually made that authentic connection. Okay, I want to go on to step 4. So you can write guide to a decision. Now, I like to kind of call this crush the close, but really what we're doing is we're just guiding them to a decision that is right for them. It is not a time to do the convincing. It's not a time to go, Mary, you know you want to do this. I know you do. Girl, get out of the fear and just say yes. No, it isn't. It's a time to respect Mary. And at this point, I might say, any other questions? Anything else at all? Now, some of you might be going, okay, Joan, what happens if I don't know the answer? write the question down and assure your person that you'll get the answer and get back to them. All right. And then we go right into guiding to the decision. So I'd say something like, all right, so Erica, you tell me, where would you like to go from here? Okay,
I'm ready.
there you go. You're there. So what I want to make sure that everybody realizes is we all tend to prejudge. I've done it. You've done it. I try not to do it. And sometimes I still do it. And I'm usually wrong. Sometimes I'll think because somebody said they barely have 2 nickels to rub together that they're not ready to sign up. Or what if I'm somebody that took like a month to decide? Sorry, that sounded like I have an opinion, doesn't it? But my point is, not everybody thinks like I do. So remember that and try your best to sit in a place of neutrality, of being neutral. You're not attached to the outcome. You know, I can't tell you how many people will call me and go, I had 4 conversations, nada, geez. What do you mean? You had 4 conversations. And don't think for a minute that some of those may not come back and later be a yes. So get super pumped about the activity that you're learning. Every single thing you're doing in these conversations is a seed planted. Does every seed live from a farmer's crop? No. Does he stop planting them? No. He feverishly keeps planting because he knows what? That one day that crop is going to sprout and it's going to grow. And I want you to think of everything you do, from follow-up to reach outs to, you know, engaging people, to having conversations, to serving, in all the ways that you do. You're planting seeds. So some of you, I'm talking to you, get over yourselves and quit being hard on yourselves that you're not getting the exact sales you want or that you're not recruiting today. That mindset won't get you either of those. All right, so there's several questions in the guide to decision, but as we come to a close, I'm going to turn it back over to Megan and I'm going to give you only one action step, just one. I want you to book your first recruiting conversation. And I already know there's some of you that are going to go, Joan, I don't have a team. Do it with your friend, do it with your child, do it with the make-believe, whoever. I want you to book the conversation. Maybe share it with a sideline sister. All right. Guys, did this work for you today? Was it helpful? I want you to put a 3 in the comments if this was helpful and you liked the recruiting conversation. Awesome. Okay, I'm going to turn it back over to Megan. We're going to do some drawings and then we're going to get into the VIP. Thank you also to Lauren and Erica. I really appreciate your guys' expertise, and you'll see Lauren tomorrow and Erica again on Saturday. Woohoo! Thank you. Megs.
Awesome. Love it. Well, that was so fantastic. What I love most, Joan, about this recruiting conversation that truly, I mean, helped me enroll 18 people in 3 weeks, really, with this framework, is literally, you know, prior, I was using a lot of scripts that, scripts are good as guidelines, massage the words. But what your recruiting conversation framework does is truly help inspire people to action. And we covered that today. And it's just so great because now you're actually helping people and not just getting people to sign up. So if you want a sustainable business, that's the way. So you guys, let's show Joan some love in the comments. Love it. Oh my gosh. All right. We're going to pull a winner. Mark, let's go ahead and share the screen and pull our winner. And then tomorrow, you guys, we're going to have our grand prize winner, which is going to get a Stanley Cup or a $50 gift card. So who wants some I mean, let's be honest, the Stanley Cups are pretty cool. So, and then by the way, if you have not been posting your takeaways every day. After we post a takeaway, we're also going to be pulling a winner at the end of the week as well, based off your engagement in the group and the takeaways that you're sharing. So do that. Mark, do we have the winners to pull? Do we have a winner to pull up, a participant winner today? If not, let me know in the chat. We might need to announce it after this.
I was going to say, and Megan, in the meantime, guys, I just have to say too, tomorrow, oh my gosh, do not miss tomorrow, because Social Media Profits, it's going to tie everything together. You're going to be like, whoa. Megan, how's Mark doing over there?
Not sure.
You might want to say a couple little
I'm
things.
gonna, yeah, let me dive into a little bit of
Yeah.
tomorrow. If he doesn't get it pulled up, we'll announce the winner right after this call. So
Okay.
you guys, tomorrow, I have been hearing a lot from you guys, and I'm going to show you how to dramatically increase your results and your profits from social media without bugging your friends and family, okay? Without feeling like I now have to do this chasing. We're going to show you how to truly attract people using attraction marketing strategies, right? And these are the concepts that are allowing people to grow without any influence, without ever having, you know, a social media profile even before. We're going to show you the exact game plan that you can create, whether you've been successful in the traditional network marketing space or whether you're brand new, whether you've had some social media experience or whether you're brand new to social media. And so who's excited for tomorrow's Social Media Profits? Drop in a comment. There's still time to invite a teammate, a friend. If you found this valuable, you can invite them to the challenge. So get the update for tomorrow, because tomorrow is going to be crazy. Also in the VIP, we're going to also go over with Lauren a little bit more in the reels, the short form video, how to recruit and profit from those reels, which I'm super excited about. And then we're also going to have a big announcement tomorrow as well. So you're definitely going to want to stay tuned. I can't wait to see everyone. I've been working super hard on bringing you guys as much value as possible, and we hope that you guys are loving it. So we'll go ahead and announce the winner for today in the group after this, the drawing prize winner. And I think with that, back to you, I guess, Studio A, anything over there? If not, we'll see the VIPs here in a second.
You know what? I think we're doing good, Megs. It looks like everybody's super pumped for tomorrow. And oh my gosh, I see someone booked their first recruiting conversation. Let's give it up for Tawny. Woo, woo, woo. This is awesome. I love it. All right. Back to you, Megan, in Studio B.
All right. Well, in Studio B, are there any questions that you guys have before we close out? The replays is going to be posted by tonight. We get it as quickly as we can in the Facebook guide under, I believe it's guide 2. It has the daily recordings of the Zoom link. And then the VIPs, we'll see you in a minute. You'll be able to access your recording as well in your private membership area. Joan, there's a question about the recruiting conversation. If you could look at that real quick.
Okay.
I think down there I see one.
Oh, okay. Good question. I'm going to address that while Megan's pulling up the reels. So guys, the recruiting conversation can be with somebody that you know if you don't have a prospect. But technically, this would be anybody that has shown interest in the business. So the way that I train this is certainly we do our due diligence. I mean, we're not going to have 20 or 30 of these calls a day because you're going to pre-qualify them in your IMs in a sense, right? But when maybe they've taken like the first steps and given you kind of a signal, like they liked your company video or they want to know more. They want to know how to make money from a post that you wrote, okay? Or maybe you've got a recruiting list that you're working down. Not to mention, every single customer is a potential business builder, okay? So don't forget your existing people. And then what I do is I get them on the phone as quickly and urgently as possible. Quickly and urgently as possible. So I always leave time in my day to book in you know, at least a couple calls. And then if that doesn't happen that day, then I'm able to use that time for other things. So, all right. Any other questions around that recruiting conversation? And if there's more, I also will continue to add some of those things in the Facebook page, and I may go live and do a recap or just a little bit more where I answer some questions later on today. Megs, how we doing there?
That's it. That's all we've got. We'll see you tomorrow for day 4.
Okay, guys, we will head on over to the VIP and we'll see the rest of you tomorrow for day 4. Bye-bye. Thanks for being here.
Bye.
Oh,
Oh, bye, Jean. Have a great day, everybody.